Well, I grew up in Belfast in the 1970s, which was, I guess, the height of the Troubles here, a really difficult time. And I spent most of my time indoors, and I was always sketching and drawing. In fact, my father, his job was paint sprayer of cars and trucks, and he used to pinstripe all the old Guinness trucks in his garage years and years ago. So I guess something of that come to me, and I spent days, I guess, drawing and sketching. It's funny, in my early school days, when the teachers would put out, like, say, a cup and a jug, I would always draw something different, like faces, and I would draw custom cars, and I would flick spread them and mask them up and do flames, and I used to do loads of faces. I never drew like cups and saucers and things like that. I always had my own idea. That's always been the way. I don't know why. I had no interest in drawing a cup. Nothing's changed. There was no real encouragement at the schools I went to. It was just, you school, you get on with it, and I didn't really fit in the art class at all. Really, I mean, I guess I left school really early, and went into various jobs and careers along the way. But I've always been sketching and drawing, always, as a form of relaxation, almost. I think it was 1995. I thought I had a friend in Dublin who owned clubs and bars and things, and he always looked after me when I had no money. And I thought, as a gift, I should do a picture of the characters that go to his bars and clubs. So I did this drawing, stroke painting of characters, like a long profile piece, and I brought it up to his office, and he loved it. And then we drank a lot of beer, and later on, I agreed apparently to do a show in his club. And it happened. We did a show on the 26th of February, 1996, and I had about 9 or 10 pieces on the walls, and it was crowded and an unbelievable night. Everything was sold. I think I was the last person to get there because I was extremely nervous, and basically he invited everyone from Dublin to see the work, and they loved it. I'm sort of known for painting tough guys, tough, fighting guys. And I guess, my dad left me with a real appreciation of honour and trust as real values. He was a hard-working man, and he was called Frank. And the character that I paint, or I'm known for, would be called Frank. And he's a middle-aged guy. He's been through the mill. He's tough and he's damaged goods, but he's still there, and he's a fair guy. And it's all those emotions I put into my guys. And I think my guys are the nearest thing to me personally, and who I am and how I feel. And I visualise them in different scenarios, and it's a form of therapy for me working on Frank. I have values. At this stage in my life, I've been through quite a lot, met a lot of people, and I think what I admire the most in someone would be, honesty, integrity. And a lot of my darker guys, the tough guys, would be covered in tattoos that, that say honour and hope and trust and the things I believe in. And I guess that's me putting out there what I like and what I believe in and who I am and what I like in my life. And those are my values, and that's why I put them on there. It's a way of saying, this is who I am, this is what I like. I try to live my life that way, with integrity and honesty, and do my best for everyone else. I get the most in life from sharing and helping. It sounds very, holy, but that's the truth. I get real happiness and contentment from being able to help other people with art or whatever, Before I start any work, I would be, say I'd be in Paris, or I'd go somewhere and I'd walk along a beach or do something, and it could be a movie, it could be a song. It just starts something off in my head, and these little stories start building and building and building. And then I would put a canvas up here on the easel, and I would put just a wash of a colour over it, just to make it not white. And I would look at it for like 2 or 3 days. I would be walking past it and look at it and be starting to visualise what's going to be there. And then there's more music and there's more movies, and I would look at certain films and certain magazines and certain emotions and how I feel. It's all that starts coming together. And then, I would actually get a big bit of charcoal. Sometimes I'd use charcoal powder and just go over it and just roughly sort of shade in with my hands, sort of areas where it might be, so that we're looking at things. And I see it. I see it before I start. And then I would start with charcoal and start building it up, and I'd play certain music for certain moods. I'd put on something that feels appropriate for me, and you start feeling it. and you're into it, and you're into the picture, and you're going. And I take it over a period of time, I take it to a certain point, and then I guess it's the last 2 or 3 hours of a picture, which is like the real magic bit. It's the bit it's really hard, I can't explain it. And over the years, people have asked, I take it so far as that you would see that it's a girl, or it's a guy, or it's a doctor, or a tough guy. But then after that, there's something happens which takes it beyond that. And that sounds kind of weird, and I can't explain it. But it's the bit at the end, like it could be the last 2 or 3 hours, where all this stuff happens in movement, in the canvas, with paint and with chocolate or whatever, which changes it from being just colours and lines. It's hard to explain, but that's what it's like. The only time that sort of thing, if I'm working on a piece, if I start working when I'm not in the right frame of mind, I have in the past thought, I'm going to start a picture because in my personal life I wasn't comfortable, so I would almost hide in a painting. And I've started a piece when I really shouldn't have started a piece. It wasn't in me to come out. I'm trying to make it happen, and it's never right. No matter how much I work on it, I have to just stop and turn it against the wall and leave it there, and sometimes never go back to it. It's like when you start a picture, like I spoke before about, I visualize it and I get it. I actually see it on the canvas where it should be, and I build from there. It's like a great foundation, and everything I do after that is right. If I start working when I'm not in the right frame of mind, it's just not right. It's never right. You can't force it. It has to. That's why I can never say when something will be done, because I can't answer that question. I work from the heart, and I'm not painting like, I'm not saying, well, I'm painting that table, so when the table's finished, it's finished. I'm creating these things from my imagination. So it's a hard long piece of string. It's like, I can't say when it's finished. And that's the bit that I can't get a handle on. But if I work when I shouldn't work, if I start painting when I don't feel like it, it's never right. It's never been right. And I stopped. I just go away somewhere, don't bother, because it's never right. If I'm sort of halfway through a painting or 1/3 through and I'm sort of really, really enjoying it, I would walk out the door of the studio and leave the door open and close it about this much here, right? And look at the picture from the door. And it's like looking with different eyes. I do it all the time. I would open the door just a bit so I could see the painting through the door. And for some reason it's like looking through somebody else's eyes. Weird, do it all the time. I think that's good. It's goosebump stuff. When something's working, when it's all working well, I'm not fit, and I could stand there for 15 hours. And when I stop, I'm exhausted. I actually have to go and lie down because there's nothing left, and I feel emotionally vulnerable because I've put in everything, and I don't even, during it, you don't feel tired. And then you stop, you go, oh my God. But you've got something in there, and there's a part of you in this that's trapped in there somehow. I don't know what it is, because that's the effect it seems to have on other people. It really has an effect on them, and I know somehow I get something of how I feel into it, but I couldn't explain how I do it. I just don't know how I do it. Well, there's times I've had to get up in the middle of the night, and if my wife and the kids are staying here, they'd be moaning and groaning if I get up in the middle of the night. But I've had to get up at like 3 or 4 in the morning to go back and do something that's been bugging me, or something's come into my mind, that I have to do it then, in case I miss it, in case I lose it, in case it's gone. And I'd go out and I'd put the lights on and I'd get it done and go, thank God, because just something, a painting could be a certain level and something happens. It could be a song, it could be a conversation, a movie you see, or something you remembered. Just a switch just goes, and you all of a sudden how to go, where it goes. It's unreal, and it is my best drug is painting and drawing. Because there was nobody like me when I was doing my thing. I had no connection with the high art world. I just do what I do. I used all the wrong brushes, all the wrong way, apparently. But the most important thing for me is to create something that moves me on the canvas. I didn't worry about what brushes or what paint to use or what way something's stretched. I didn't understand it. And honestly, ignorance saved my life. I didn't know about galleries and what you're meant to do, and I have no qualifications. I don't no art degree. I didn't go to art school. I have nothing. I work completely from the heart. There's no filter, and I think that's actually saved my life. The biggest thing I have now is having happiness from my kids and my wife and kids, which is wonderful. And we all enjoy what I do as a lifestyle. And we have quiet holidays where the kids all do stuff, and I would draw a wee bit and just live with the art now. And that's my most happiest moment now, where I say, right, we're going to go to somewhere like Latvia, and rent a house, and we'll all be together and do stuff, and that's my biggest joy. When we're all together and I can draw and the kids are around, it's fantastic. A lot of people that buy my work, especially in Ireland, it would be their first art they've actually purchased. Like not something to go with the carpet or to go with the walls, actually something that they really like, that does something for them. And I've had loads of emails and correspondence from people, it's their first art and they absolutely love it. And I'm talking about from kids to like people in their 90s who've bought my work and they feel that they're in this with me, they're on a journey with me and they feel part of it. And I guess they think that I'm more approachable than maybe the high art world that they haven't much connection with. They're real people, and if I'm called the people's artist, I think it's the best thing that you could call anyone. It's a badge on my chest, and I'm so proud of it. And I will do my best for them, and they buy my work and they live for it, and the feedback I get is incredible. And I do enjoy it and I feel responsible, and I love the fact that they follow me. I guess in the future, the way my career is going now, I have lots of ambition, ongoing ambition about where I want to show next and what I want to do and what would excite me. But I guess the biggest success for me recently and hopefully in the future is to find real happiness and peace in myself and contentment. I've gone on this long journey which has been up and down and all over the place, and I've got to the point now where I actually feel like the 10-year-old boy that I was back in North Belfast drawing, and I feel that now, and that's me at my happiest, content, just somewhere quiet, drawing and sketching ideas, and that's where I started, and that's where I'm at now. God, that's powerful.